We're a year out from House of the Dragon premiering, and while the show's first season may fall short of Game of Thrones in some aspects, one thing it actually does a lot better is centering women, both on screen and behind the scenes. Hello everyone, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications bell, so you don't miss any new updates on your favorite TV series. Unlike in Game of Thrones, women are unquestionably at the core of the story. Game of Thrones had a fairly even split of prominent male and female characters, but its treatment of female characters was called into question several times throughout the show's run. House of the Dragon is a much more female-led show, with the conflict between Rhaenayra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower being its central driving force. A side effect of this, too, is the fact that issues such as sexual violence, which particularly impact women in the franchise's patriarchal universe, are handled more sensitively. Game of Thrones frequently came under fire for its gratuitous use of female nudity and sexual assault scenes, but so far, House of the Dragon has not acquired the same backlash, though its numerous dramatic birth scenes have attracted criticism from some. Overall, the series' first season is a promising improvement over Game of Thrones when it comes to doing its female characters justice and highlighting different dynamics between women. House of the Dragon focuses on women. Whereas Game of Thrones had several male protagonists, including Ned Stark, Jon Snow, and Tyrion Lannister, House of the Dragon is very much about Rhaenyra and Alicent. Male characters like Daemon Targaryen and Otto Hightower are mostly important due to their proximity to Rhaenyra and Alicent respectively, and while the Dance of the Dragon civil war that ensues is technically between Rhaenyra and Aegon Targaryen, Alicent is the real power behind her son, who has little interest in being king. If there is a leading man, it's Rhaenyra's father Viserys, but he dies at the end of the season after a long period of ill health. Game of Thrones, on the other hand, often sidelined its more interesting female characters in favor of the likes of Jon and Bran Stark. Their prominence often felt underserved, especially as they arguably turned out to be the two most important players despite their comparatively underwhelming characterization. But even more troubling than this was the way in which Daenerys Targaryen and Cersei Lannister's storylines concluded. They both came to lackluster ends that felt unworthy of their overall character arcs. Arya Stark and Sansa Stark were better served by their endings, but many people criticized the show for using sexual trauma as a way to develop Sansa's character. Game of Thrones' treatment of nudity and sexual violence was problematic. The show's decision to have Ramsay Bolton rape Sansa was highly controversial, and even more so when it was used as a turning point in her growth, pushing her to become a more strong and empowered character. Considering what she'd already endured, it felt completely cruel and unnecessary. Most of the women on Game of Thrones were subject to some kind of sexual violence over the course of the show's run, and the scenes were often explicit and gratuitous, serving only to hammer home what an oppressive, misogynistic society they lived in. While sexual violence is not absent from House of the Dragon, it is more sparingly and tactfully used. A marital rape scene between Viserys and Alicent is clearly framed as hugely violating, as it's interspersed with Rhaenyra's enthusiastic encounter with Ser Criston Cole. Alicent is a clear victim, a far cry from the way the rape scene between Cersei and Jaime was treated, or the scene between Sansa and Ramsay that was largely used to show the troubled perspective of Theon Greyjoy. Other incidents of sexual violence on the show have mostly taken place off-screen, a major example being when Aegon rapes his servant, Diana, which is simply revealed to the audience through a conversation between herself and Alicent. House of the Dragon spotlights more women behind the scenes. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.